Hello and hello. Thank you very much for joining me today. How you guys doing? I was looking for something to react to today, and a random list generated by AI, it mentioned the Berlin Airlift. I have no idea what that is, to be honest. Call me stupid, call me ignorant, call me American. But today I'm going to learn about the Berlin Airlift. Apparently it was a significant event during the Cold War. That's all I know. Thanks to reading through history. Check them out. Link down below.
One of the first major incidents during the Cold War became known as the Berlin Airlift. What was the Berlin Airlift, and why was it carried out?
Exactly what I'm trying to learn.
At the conclusion of World War II, Germany was divided into four portions. The United States, Great Britain, France, and the Soviet Union each controlled one segment. The city of Berlin, which was located in the Soviet sector, was also split into four similar segments. The Americans, British, and French portions joined together to create West Berlin, while the Soviet region was known as East.
To be honest, I didn't even know that. That's interesting. God, I feel stupid sometimes.
To create West Berlin, while the Soviet region was known as East Berlin. In 1948, the American,
I didn't know it was three that came together. I thought it was just West and East Berlin.
British, and French regions of Germany announced that they would be creating and using a new currency called the Deutschmark. This would replace the old German currency known as the Reichsmark.
That's what the AFD is trying to go back to.
In response to this decision, the Soviet Union halted all traffic between East Berlin and West Berlin. They also severed all communications with the non-Soviet sectors of the city.
This music is just, I don't know. Interesting choice. It definitely sets a certain kind of vibe of being in an elevator.
They also severed all communications with the non-Soviet sectors of the city.
Or being on hold, actually. Waiting to hear if my prescription is filled yet.
With the non-Soviet sectors of the city. Supply trains were turned around, and even the electricity was cut from West Berlin. Since Berlin was located 100 miles inside the Soviet sector of Germany, this meant that the non-Soviet region of Berlin was completely isolated and in a hostile territory. At the time, this region of Berlin had enough food to last about 36 days and only 45 days worth of coal. By June 24, 1948, West Berlin was completely cut off from the rest of the world and surrounded by 2.5 million Soviet troops.
Wow.
On June 25th, the U.S., Great Britain, and other allied nations decided on a response. It became known as the Berlin Airlift. The Allies began flying planes into West Berlin, each one carrying loads of supplies, including food, coal, and other necessities. At first, progress was slow, but before long, fresh supplies were flowing into West Berlin by the minute. The Soviets were helpless to stop these flights. If they had opened fire on the aircraft, it would have been considered an act of war. So the planes were allowed to land.
It's almost like an act of war to cut all these people off from food and energy, I would think, but
would have been considered an act of war. So the planes were allowed to land, supplying West Berliners with the essential items and food that they needed.
Oh, so they actually landed. I thought they would have just dropped it out of the sky.
By April of 1949, the Soviets realized that their blockade effort was futile. And finally, on May the 12th, 1949, the Soviet blockade of Berlin came to an end. Even after the blockade was lifted, the Berlin Airlift continued for several months, lasting a total of 15, with countless planes landing in Berlin. At the airlift,
so they did drop some out of the sky.
With countless planes landing in Berlin. At the airlift's conclusion, the
300 U.S. pilots. Let's go.
American and British Air Forces had combined to supply the city with over 2 million tons of supplies. There were 101 deaths caused by crashes during the airlift, and these deaths became the first casualties.
That's quite a lot.
Of the Cold War.
101. Total of 101 fatalities included 40 Britons and 31 Americans. 17 American and 8 British aircraft crashed during the operation. 17 American aircraft crashed. Jesus. Without even being shot at? How does that happen?
There were 101 deaths caused by crashes during the airlift, and these deaths became the first casualties of the Cold War. The cost of the airlift was $224 million. However, most believe
they dropped candy for the children.
It was a small price to pay to secure the lives and freedom of those in West Berlin.
Footage. Oh, that's pretty dope. If you set it at 1.25 speed, it sounds like he's talking normally. That guy spoke at the perfect speed for me to understand, you know. This video is in part for Americans, guys. An American like me, you know, we need them to talk real slow. Just kidding. Thanks for making this video. It really helped me on a school project. Plagiarize the video. Thanks for posting. I thought it would be worth mentioning. My great-grandfather Don was a flight engineer and he flew in the Berlin Airlift. That's pretty cool. All right, this might be a stupid question, but no stupid question is too stupid for ChatGPT. Why did so many aircraft crash during the Berlin Airlift? Several factors contributed to the relatively high number of aircraft crashes during the Berlin Airlift. Intense operational tempo, continuous stream of flights, planes taking off and landing at a rate of 1 every 30 seconds at its peak. Holy crap. That's amazing. Adverse weather conditions, limited runway infrastructure, older aircraft. Okay. So not any one, you know, factor, it seems like. Other than, I guess the number one reason is just they were doing it so fast. Geez, I mean, you would think they would have slowed down after crashing 17 times. I mean, that's just crazy to me. Out of the whole story, honestly, that's the craziest part. You crashed 25 airplanes? I mean, on one hand, I have a huge amount of like pride that we were a part of that. That's awesome. That's amazing. It seems very successful. On the other hand, 25 planes crashed? 25? Oh my God. Jesus. Okay, that was a fascinating bit of history. Thank you very much for watching. I'm a little bit less ignorant today than I was yesterday, or even 10 minutes ago. I'll see you guys tomorrow.